Hey, this is Mrs. Bergeson again. I'm here to help you write your paper. I got a few papers today that they were not correct. The kids did not do what I asked. Some kids did an excellent job, but I guess I want to make sure you understand what is going to be required before Monday, because Monday is the day that you have to hand the whole thing in, and it has to be perfect. Okay? So we already went over the title page, and then we went over the outline, right? And we already had the resource paper. Now what I'm finding is that the kids are not quite doing it right. So let's go back over what I was going to do mine on, because nobody's doing it. And it was supposed to be the history. My first point in my outline, which I do not write on this main paper, is the history of batteries. So, of course, when you go to write, you have to indent space bar 5 times. Then you have to begin typing. So I'm going to do an introduction first. And you don't write introduction and then put it. You write it. It should read like a book. All right. We have heard many stories of which batteries last the longest, right? And it doesn't have to be about your science experiment. I'm just trying to introduce this. Humankind have used batteries since, I think we looked it up last time, it was since the 1780s that we can confirm. Let's see. Batteries are interesting, right? How did we invent batteries? Right? So that's my history question, right? And what various kinds of, that was my second point, right? There's many different kinds. There's lithium, there's dry, and there are wet cell batteries. Okay? I love the computer. Love it. Okay. Of course, every time you make a period, do space twice. Okay, hit the space bar twice. What was my last statement? I forget, because I don't have it right here with me. There are various kinds of batteries, and another aspect that this paper will look at or address, right? What conditions are best for what? Keeping the charge? Keeping the charge in the battery. Now I've just written my whole outline, okay? We have heard many stories of which battery lasts the longest. Humankind has used batteries since the 1780s that we can confirm. And I can actually put Wikipedia here, because we've already 2014 in the last video that I made. Whoops. right? Batteries are interesting. How did we invent batteries? This paper will address, I can say that. Comma. How did we invent batteries? What are the various kind of batteries that can be used? Another aspect this paper will address is, comma, what conditions are best for keeping the charge in the batteries. Okay, so this is my outline, and I wrapped it into my introduction because in my outline I might have the history and then I had 3 points underneath it, right? So I'm going to expand those things. Okay, so then you go down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you hit that space bar 5 times. And of course I got to find out some things about batteries, right? So I have to go to the internet. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to shrink this, and I'm going to go to my internet, open up a new one. Of course, I really do not like Ask. I need to go through and clean up my computer. So on the Google, I'm going to put the history of batteries. So it's all lit up because we've done it. All right. Here we go. So we're going to go right here. The histories of batteries. The problem with Wikipedia is that it's really not a scientific pursuit. Anyone can put their opinion on here. So, you know what? That's probably a bad... I know my kids will use it, you know. Battery University, right here. You try to get more scientific things. Here we go. When was the battery invented? Right here. Can you see all this? Now, if I want to use this, if I find something interesting in here, I have to read this over. And this is where some of the kids were making mistakes. They would just copy and paste. I don't want you to copy and paste. I want you to read this over and then come up with a paragraph. Here we go. One of the most remarkable and novel discoveries in the last 400 years was electricity. We might ask, how has electricity been around that long? The answer is yes, and perhaps much longer. But its practical use has been at our disposal since the 1800s, and in a limited way at first. Okay? So, the use of electricity may go back further. In 1936, workers uncovered what appeared to be a prehistoric battery, as we can see it right here. Okay, so I like this little statement, so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to purposely do a couple things here because I noticed the kids were doing it wrong. So anyways, I'm going to go back here. I go control copy. I know your kids do it a little bit different than I do. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull up my Word document. And I'm going to go Control V. And then, of course, because of what I just did, I have to put this in quotes. Right? Period. Now, reference page. I got to reference this thing. So I have to go back here. I have to light this up. Control copy. Notice what I do here. I know that my reference page needs to be my last page. So I'm going to go all the way down here and I'm going to put it on the second page and I'm going to go Control V right there. Then I'm going to go ahead. Who wrote this? It says Battery 101 invented. Well, I'd say Battery University. Let's go all the way down if we can. It's Cadix Electronics. And it says right here, 2014. I don't know if you can see that. So, the author is Cadence Electronics 2014. Now, I need this right here, and I need to put it up in my paper. Period. Okay, now I got to keep talking about how these batteries work. Now I'm starting to run out of time. I'm only allowed to do so much here. But I've noticed this. Kids keep getting this and it's underlined. I don't want it underlined, so I come up here and I go, don't underline it. Right? It's still lit up. Okay? I don't want it in blue. I want it in black. There. That's how you fix that. Okay? All right. Now I have to continue to write about the history of the batteries. And I have to make a complete paragraph. All right. So here, I don't want to go to Batteries University anymore. Let's say I want something else. But I have to continue to write this paragraph. I'm running out of time and I won't be able to go through all this. But I can continue to go to Google and then I can type in the history of batteries. Sometimes Google gets stuck. Now here's the history of batteries, inventors, about.com. This is usually a pretty reliable source. Here we go. So here again, I would highlight this, copy, control. I would go back to my Word document. I would come down all the way down here, put this in, control V, comma, about.com 2014. Okay? And then hopefully I find something else I want to use. You know? And we can go Benjamin Franklin. Now, here's another thing I want to address really quick. But I have to put in my own words. So I'm going to say, even though the battery may have been made earlier, we are interested in the more modern battery. Okay? Period. And then 2 spaces. Here, 2 spaces. Control V. Of course, I got to unbold this. So you go up here and you hit unbold, right? You got to make this black. Oh, and you got to take out that underline. And you got to make it black. Right? And here's my spelling error. And then I have to put about.com, right? About.com, comma, 2014. There's my second reference. Actually, I think it's my third reference. Have you noticed something else? All this is single space. I do not want that. I'm supposed to go up here. I'm supposed to put Times Roman numeral at size 14. No, at size 12. I'm sorry. Then I'm supposed to come right up over here and it says spacing. I said 2 points. 2.0. This is what you need to do. I am almost done a page and I haven't even begun with my second point of the different types of batteries.